All right, welcome into the first edition of Cash and Tickets for the 2024 season. Paul, you about ready to get this thing started?
It's like Christmas.
It does feel great, doesn't it? I mean, last week was a little teaser with the few games that we had last Saturday, but it gets real tomorrow night.
It's too hot outside for football, but here we go.
100 degrees on August the 28th.
Yeah,
It seems warm.
not good.
And you do a little work outside, do you not?
I try not to.
Do they let you still ride around on that little
Golf buggy?
golf buggy you got there?
Man, do not talk about that golf buggy. That thing is awesome.
What if you had to do all that walking to count all that stuff?
Mm-mm.
No fun?
Mm-mm. No.
Okay. All right. Well, again, here we are. Thanks for joining us today. We're glad to have you. Or tonight, I guess, this evening, as we have our first Locks episode of Cash and Tickets of the 2024 football season. We're glad to be with you. There is one problem I can already see right on the board, Paul. I think I can change this in real time. But as if you'll notice, that my name and your name is on top of the wrong people.
And it wouldn't be us if you wasn't doing something over there.
So I'm going to try to get this changed real quick. And I'm going to put my name over the proper person and your name over the proper
Okay.
deal and see if we can't get that working.
Okay.
There we go. Now,
Get it?
now it's back. Now your name is over your camera and my name is over mine. And I see already in the chat, Josh already let us know that that our names were in the wrong spot. So I'm just going to let him know real quick that at least, hey, glad to have you here, Josh. We appreciate it. Somebody's in here.
Thanks for being here for our debacle.
Yeah, glad we could entertain everybody right out of the gate.
Yeah, what they call it, educate and entertain. We just skipped the educating part.
That's right, yeah. All right, so again, welcome into Cash and Tickets. We're Poolside Bets, and now that our name is proper, I'm Franklin, and that's Paul.
Hi.
Sitting to the left of me on your screen. It may be different, but here we are.
Yep.
So week 1 is upon us, Paul. We're past week 0. You want to talk about week 0? I think we both cashed in with a little Georgia Tech there against FSU.
Yeah, just a play against DJ Ukulele there, and wasn't much to it. Surprised they lost outright though. That was a good one. But I'm just, I don't think Florida State's got much. That's kind of why they play Memphis, I think week 3 or 4. And
Yeah.
I think Memphis may get them also.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough game for them because if they can't do any more than what they showed on offense against Georgia Tech, it's going to be a tough year for the Florida State Seminoles. I think we both talked about it. We just kind of figured that Georgia Tech had the better quarterback.
Right.
And he limited turnovers. I don't think he had any turnover-worthy throws in that game if you look at the PFF stats after the game. And, of course, DJ didn't either, but you realize, and this is what the funniest stat that I saw or heard, at halftime of that game, he had negative air yards passing.
How do you throw it? How do you get any? What are you talking about negative?
Because every pass he threw was behind the line of scrimmage. All those screens and everything that he threw And then the one thing he threw downfield, got called back for a penalty. So at the end of the first half, yeah, it showed like he had like negative air yards for the first half.
Not good.
That's something we discussed. You can't do that and run a proper offense, even though like Mike Norvell, but rough start
Not
for
good.
Florida State Seminoles. New Mexico about put it to still got beat by an FCS school, but they showed a lot of grit against Montana State.
Yeah, I don't understand that line coming out like it did either. I mean, you gotta when you're
Double digits.
Yeah, that was weird. But like I said, I didn't bet it, but it was football to watch. It wasn't great football, but it was still football.
Yeah,
so.
it was something on the TV. SMU struggled with Nevada. That was a tough one to see.
Yeah, I don't know. That Nevada team's pretty good.
Delaware State 1-11 last year, put up 14 points on the Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah.
That game was late.
That game was in doubt going into the fourth quarter.
I think it was 14-all in the third quarter.
Yeah,
something like that.
Hope my throwing Samoans get it together over there.
So, and it's probably going to be just as difficult this week because we haven't seen any of this team, so we don't really know what's going to happen. But we're going to do our best. I think we both got, as we always do, got 6 locks to give you. Hopefully they come through. We'll see. But before we get to that, let's review. You know, we did some conference previews, did some over-unders, but we both have over-unders that we actually got some money on. So before we get to any locks this week, why don't we discuss our futures bets that we got in?
Okay.
You want to start? We'll just go 1 and 1. You give one, I'll give one. We'll go from there.
Just our season totals.
Yeah, if you got any future bets, you got.
Yeah. Oh well, I'll start at the top. I've got our Ole Miss to win the Natty ticket. 16-1.
I got the same ticket, so we'll just go there. I got Ole Miss. Yeah, at your favorite book. Some of them are worse. Some of them are 14-1, 15-1. I think MGM maybe 14 or 15, but that's Caesar 16-1.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Mississippi State over 4 wins on the year. I got even money on that.
So you got that at 4, not 4.5.
Right.
I think when we discussed it, I saw that line at 4.5, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, I had even money, so it was pretty good.
Well, at least at the 4, if they get to 4, you'll push on that. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You're not losing any money there.
Well, it's a no-lose bet. I mean, if they only win 4 games, then I hope they make a bowl, but
yeah, that's all good. I just got one. I got 2 from the SEC, but outside the Rebels, I got the Texas Longhorns under 10. I'm going to try to get it at 10.5. Seems like the first time we looked at it was 10.5. When I looked today, Caesars was showing 10, I believe. But
what's the juice on that? I wonder.
minus 135. I'm going to try to take that up. But yeah, I tried to keep everything 125 and below. But
Right.
I got a couple that the odds have changed as we've gotten closer.
Yeah.
So anyway, Texas Longhorns. I feel I just because they got to get to 11. And I just don't. I don't see him getting to 11. So the under on the Longhorns.
Yeah. I've got the over 7.5 wins for the Iowa State Cyclones.
Yeah, we discussed that in our. Didn't we do a Big 12 preview?
Yeah.
You really liked
Yep.
Iowa State there.
Yep. So I got that. I can't even go back and review my notes on that, but pretty much. I mean, just more talent coming back. They're going to be good on defense. They always are. So. I think the way their schedule lines up, eight's pretty easy for them to get.
Yeah, one of the other ones I got that I like a lot is I've got the Miami Hurricanes over 9.5.
Yeah.
I get it. A lot of people say Mario Cristobal. What are you going to do with him? Well, hope he gets out the way. Let Cam Ward do his job. Let him play. Let him play his game.
Right.
If they do, there's enough talent there, and I think that this weekend, right, against Florida. Is it this weekend? Or?
Yep.
I think they get it started with a big win over Florida.
It's the 2:30 game Saturday.
And I'll be right there in on it. So I like Miami, and especially after the Florida State loss. I love them to win that conference. But, again, Mario Cristobal's got to get out of the way and let that team – let the talent do what they're there to do.
Right.
And I think that – because I love the quarterback. He's
Cam Ward.
one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in that conference now.
Yeah, I think they brought in an NFL coordinator too. So they got 2 new coordinators this year, I believe.
Yeah, so just let him do what he do.
Yeah. I got Central Florida to win the Big 12 conference at plus 750. Uh, you know, KJ Jefferson is Cam Newton. We'll see. We'll
He's a big
find
boy.
out.
He's
Yeah,
the
we'll
same size.
we'll
And
find out.
I think he's got the best head coach he's had, so far, and he fits really good with Gus Miles on because he can throw the
Well,
deep ball good, can run a little bit, run through some people.
yeah.
So long as he stays healthy, I've got. I'm not on them for the Big 12 title. I like that bet, but I got the UCF over 7.5.
Nice.
I think they get to 8 pretty easily. So I can see them. I can see them getting to 9.
Yep.
It may be a situation where I move that to 8.5. But yeah, I'm going to be on the Central Florida Knights to
We're much
hit
like
their
this.
over.
So far, we're liking the same stuff.
I know.
What could go wrong?
Nothing.
All right.
Central Florida will win 3 games this year.
Yeah.
KJ Jefferson got hurt in the first game.
So, I also went out there and got the Kansas Jayhawks at plus 900 to win the Big 12 conference. Both of those, the Knights and the Jayhawks, both are just basically just a number versus what the talent is. I think either team can get hot at any time. Kansas, of course, probably got the best backfield in the country. They just got a new coordinator coming in, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I know. Yeah, we did a lot of studying on the Big 12, so I felt like I was more prepared to take future bets on the Big 12.
Yeah.
And it's the parity in that league is incredible. So
Oh yeah, I think there's a bunch of teams that could do something there. You talking about Utah, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Kansas.
yeah, you can go all the way down the list.
Of course, with Kansas, it's all going to depend on the health of the quarterback, Jalen, right?
Yeah, Jalen.
Jalen Daniels.
Yeah.
I really like them if he stays healthy. They've been one of my darlings the last couple of years.
Yep.
So I'm all aboard the Kansas Jayhawks pick there.
All right, you got any more?
Yeah, I've got staying in the Big 12. I got the Baylor under 5.5.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's over for Dave Aranda there in Waco. Waco, right?
Yep,
Baylor's in Waco?
that's right.
Got something wrong with my camera here. It's moving my head.
Your head's moving.
Yeah, it's getting closer to
Oh,
you. I
no.
don't think. Let me move it away from you a little bit. There we go. I think that's better. Center me up a little bit.
So I got the Colorado Buffaloes under 5.5 wins.
Boy, I could have called that last year. It's like, you're going to take their under the next 2 years, aren't you?
No, they're not gonna. Well, they burnt me down. So when we started looking at this, I looked at it like, so there's TCU again,
Yep.
looking like a good bet.
Coming off a national
And
championship title.
here's Colorado again going. You're going. They might lose that game outright. So I was like, I'm just gonna push both of them away and not bet either one of them
Okay.
in week one until I see what it is. So I don't know. I think if you're gonna bet Colorado, do it the first couple weeks.
Yeah. If you like them, get in early, and then
Fade.
attrition will probably be coming.
Yeah, and they lose a few, they'll start shutting it down.
I think so too. Yeah, I don't think there's a great culture in that locker room.
Nah, I
So
don't
they're
think-
going to have to continue to win to keep that thing going.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got?
Steelers to win the Super Bowl plus.
Oh, you got some NFL in there.
plus
There we go.
4,500, and the Steelers to win the AFC North at plus 650.
Wow, went with your heart here. Just
No, I do it every year.
right in the gut hole.
Yeah, do it every year.
Like it. I would have gone with my team, but the odds weren't very good.
Yeah,
So.
no, that's what you get for pulling for a winner.
As if your team hasn't been perennially winning over the
They
last
have
20
perennially
years.
not here lately.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up for me. I got the Rebels over 9.5. If I'm gonna get them to win the title, I think they have to go 10-2 in the regular season. So I got the Rebels over 9.5
Yeah.
for the regular season.
Yeah, I got that bet too. I mean, it's all or nothing this year for the Rebels. They've got to get it done. No Kiffin, if he has no excuses. I mean, short of knock on wood, I'm not going to say it.
Don't say the word.
Something happening. Whatever. But yeah. Anyways, that's where I'm at. I got about, like I said, 8 or 9 of those feature tickets. So if my year's going terribly, I still have that to fall back on. Just going into week one, do you see anything that kind of interests you or?
Well, there's some good games going on. I mean, you at least have a Power Five matchup Thursday night with North Carolina traveling up to
Mm,
Minnesota.
yep.
So you got that. Actually, one of the better matchups that night for me, outside of that game, is Jacksonville State taking on Coastal Carolina. I don't think Coastal is what they've been the last few years. Coach is gone. QB's gone. Probably going to see a little fall off with the Chanticleers, which kind of hurts my heart a little bit.
Right.
But that's okay. You got to know when to get off that bus, right? You ride that train as long as you can, and then you got to get off at your city
Yeah,
and stick
I
around.
think that's one of my plays. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more here in a minute. One of the things that jumped out to me was the week one um, D1 versus SES school, the plus 40s, plus 42, plus 38s.
Mm-hmm. Big ones.
And we talked about this last year a little bit too. Some of these teams can't score 38 points,
No,
but yet they're a
go out there.
45-point favorite.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
And why would they early in the season?
It's strange to me. I mean, like, I don't understand. Like, and they're all over the place too. I don't know. I would have, if you want to go that direction and tease all those big spreads up, wouldn't blame you one bit.
And I don't hate it because after watching week 0, they've got an issue with the clock and the play clock.
Yeah.
Last year they went to the, this is last year's stuff, but they went to where if you go out of bounds or even when you get a first down, the clock doesn't stop anymore.
Yeah.
It keeps rolling. Well, here's the problem. So I watched the Florida State Georgia Tech game, bits of it. I watched some of the SMU Nevada game. And so in the NFL, you go out of bounds, the clock doesn't stop, right? Well, soon as the whistle is blown, the play clock starts.
Right.
Well, in these games in week 0, a player would go out of bounds, right?
Right.
The game clock is still going, but the 40-second play clock wouldn't get restarted for like 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Which means you're burning an extra 8 seconds off the clock.
Right.
And I say all this to say that you get two teams that like to run the football with all these big spreads. You can do one of two things. You just take the big spread, right? Move it up.
That's what I do.
Or you take a bunch of unders in these games because the clock is just ticking like crazy. That they've got to get that fixed.
Yeah. So I'm just looking through here, like some of these games. I know I'm moving right along here, but I'm just kind of getting my thought process out.
I got
guess.
you.
So one of my plays is going to be Jacksonville State, but I'm looking at it, and it's 88% of the money bet on the game is on Jacksonville State, which doesn't make me feel good.
No, that's not. That doesn't give you warm and fuzzies.
No, it doesn't. There's a couple 90-something percent. So I think Vanderbilt's one at plus 13.
I don't get that one.
So Stanford, TCU, 93% of the money, 88% of the tickets placed.
Or on who?
TCU.
Crap.
I mean, Vanderbilt 86% at plus 13.5. They're hammering Vanderbilt.
I think Diego Pavia makes a big difference there. I think, but Virginia Tech has been kind of a off-season darling headed into this season.
Right. Yeah. I'm just numbers are popping out week 1, and we'll be in week 3 and going, the hell were they thinking?
What were they?
So I don't know. I don't know. You ready to get into some picks?
We can. Let's just we got some big games this weekend. Starting Saturday morning right off the gate, which is going to be awesome. We get our breakfast in, get our Omahas made, get everything mixed up, and first kick, Clemson, Georgia, there in Mercedes-Benz Stadium at Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. If you take your dollar and you put it on Clemson, I would like to. That's a ballsy move.
There's been a lot of talk about Clemson again, as it has been for a bunch of years going on now. But again, you know me, that this quarterback situation in Clemson doesn't make any sense. Paul's got a technical issue he's got to take care of real quick. So if you know me, a lot of these games, anytime we talk about it, I always kind of look and try to figure out where's the best QB in the situation. And to me, in that game, obviously it's Carson Beck. I mean, he's getting Heisman Trophy consideration. He may be the odds-on favorite, right? Not odds-on, but he maybe the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy right now. They're going against Cade Klubnik, of all things.
And you get a pissed off Georgia team.
Yeah, because they didn't make the playoffs
Yeah.
last year. That's right.
So
Also at 11 o'clock, there's an intriguing game to me. Penn State travels to Morgantown, take on West Virginia Mountaineers.
yeah, I had notes on that a while ago.
I'm not big on West Virginia this year. I think they won against a weak schedule last year.
Yeah, they have to run the ball.
So I'm not. I think Penn State's going to get this thing done, but week one I stayed away from that game.
Yeah, I don't know if they can run the ball. They have to run it and to win. And running against Penn State's not the easiest thing in the world to do. They're probably a top 5 defense.
Yeah, they're going to cause problems.
So
And
yeah,
with the new Big Ten schedule now, they don't have to play the big boys this year.
so you got them at there's plus 8.5 there at West Virginia. 70% of the tickets placed are on Penn State. 52% of the money. So there's a lot of money coming in on West Virginia.
Yeah.
I guess it's because it's over a touchdown. I get it.
Yeah, and they're at home.
Yeah.
It's a long travel
I get it.
for the Nittany Lions there, and their offense has not been very good. Not saying they won't win the game, but I think they will.
Yeah.
But 8 points is a lot for a team that hasn't shown much and a quarterback that hasn't shown much.
So that Vanderbilt game I was talking about a while ago, I was just looking at it again.
Yeah, Virginia Tech travels to Nashville, take on the Commodores.
So 54% of the bets placed are on Vanderbilt. 86% of the money is on Vanderbilt. Wow. So it's the same amount of tickets, but it's ungodly amount more money
Much more money. Yeah.
on Vanderbilt. So that's interesting to me.
So that means your big money people are taking the points.
Well,
Which, hey, look, it was a big weekend for dogs in week 0.
yep.
I think all of them covered.
That's why I on these big spread games, anything over 30, 35, 42, I just go get it.
Let's see. I know there's some. I think at 2:30 we got a big time showdown.
That's the Miami, Florida game.
We got Miami, Florida, and then when is
A&M and Notre Dame.
Yeah,
right?
when do they
6
kick?
I think
Oh,
it's
they're
6:30.
later. Okay, so I had it
6:30.
swapped. So yeah, it's Miami, Florida at 2:30, and then apparently A&M, Notre Dame at 6 or 6:30 or
Yeah.
somewhere in that time slot.
Mike Elko versus his old quarterback.
Yeah, do you think now that all that coaching change is gone and 6:30 there for the A&M Notre Dame game. Now that Mike Elko's in, Jimbo Fisher's gone, do you think some of the noise has settled down? Do you think A&M get that thing turned around there, or is it just
Well, I don't think
are
Mike
they just
Elko's
cursed?
Well, no, I don't think Mike Elko's a complete nincompoop.
I don't either. I think he's a
So-
good coach.
I think he'll do well there. I think all the resources available to him. I think, the roster got, overhauled pretty much. Everybody just come in there and stole everybody. So we'll see what he can do year 1. Then probably year 2 will be their year.
Yeah, and I don't hate Connor Wegman. I mean, I think he's a decent
No, yeah,
quarterback.
He's good.
And the one thing to note here, I'm not a big Marcus Freeman fan as a head coach for the Irish.
I don't know what that hire was about.
I like Riley Leonard that they got from Duke, but they lost their left tackle early in the season. It could be tough going to College Station, first game of the year. Of course, we got Miami, Florida at 2:30, but I think we got some more coming on that later.
LSU,
right?
USC at 6:30.
And then on Sunday, LSU, USC out
Sunday, that's right.
out in Vegas.
Right. Yeah.
I think we got more coming on that too, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's part of a teaser, I believe.
I think it's some on my side too.
What could possibly
what?
go wrong?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Oh,
It'd
my
be
God.
totally
It's gonna be
fine.
a shit show.
It'll be fine, Paul. It'll be fine.
Okay.
So you want to start putting out some locks out there? Let these people know where they need to throw their money around.
I'll try.
All right. I got mine in order as they play this week.
There is no rhyme and reason to what I have.
No rhyme and reason to yours.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
All right. Well, you know what? I usually ask you to go first. I'm going to go first this time. How about that?
Okay.
All right.
Well, do what you gotta do.
I'll start with a Thursday night tilt tomorrow night. North Carolina Tar Heels travel to Minnesota, take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. One of the better matchups Thursday night. I think you got two pretty good matchups that night, and I like this one. Two Power 5 teams going against each other. They feel pretty evenly matched. They both feature really good running backs, Omari and Hampton for the Tar Heels and Darius Taylor for the Golden Gophers. They both returned from big seasons last year. Now, both teams are suspect on defense last year and for about the last 3 years for the Tar Heels. So, but they both turned some decent depth. But the thing about returning depth that wasn't good, who says they're going to be good this year?
Yeah. Yeah.
And will that Italian improve?
Yeah.
Jeff Collins takes over as DC at UNC.
Not a fan.
I know you're not. I think he's a good DC. He's just been a bad head coach.
Okay.
And I think that's the difference there. But he takes over the defense there, replacing Gene Chiswick in Chapel Hill. We don't know a lot, obviously, because it's early in the season, but I do think that Minnesota upgraded tremendously at the quarterback position, getting QB
I'm excited to see how
from
this kid does.
from the University of New Hampshire,
There you
a
go.
name of Max Brosmer,
Okay.
comes in. He's got really good tape. I mean, that's all we got to go off of. And UNC will use 2 QBs, and you know what happens when you use 2?
You don't
When
have
you got
any-
2, you don't have 1.
I have none of them.
So I'm going to take the home underdog with the better QB, in my opinion. Give me the Gophers +2.
I like it. I'm going to stay on that same game because I have a play there. That way we're not jumping all around. I took Minnesota team total over 26.5. Juiced at -140. That's a little higher than I normally play it. But when you think about Minnesota, you don't think about points. You really don't. But here's the thing. North Carolina last year was 4th in the country at plays per game, 77 plays per game.
Okay.
So if they struggle at all on offense, that means they're going to be on the field, off the field. All that does is give Minnesota more time to score. And they will
Yeah.
run the ball, and they can move the ball with that quarterback. He can throw it. So I don't think 26.5 is unreachable. I wouldn't be surprised to see them both in the 30s, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
So I'm just typing this in here, make sure I got that right. That was the Golden Gophers. You're taking the team total for the Gophers over 26.5?
26.5.
You know, I think you can get that number better tomorrow, Paul.
Okay.
I saw it today at 24.5.
Oh, nice.
You imagine that? That'd be
Yep.
good for you, wouldn't it?
That'd be great for me. So this is.
We got you locked in at 26.5, though. You can't change your pick.
That's all right.
That's what people will come back at you and say, well, you can't change it. You said 26.5.
I like it at 26.5. I think they'll score 4 touchdowns against this defense.
I don't hate it.
So we'll see.
All right. My next matchup takes place. Oh, crap. I forgot to write down. I got it in order on my sheet here, but I forgot to write down on my sheet when they play.
Who are you looking for?
FAU, Michigan State.
I can find it.
Is that a Friday game? I think it's Friday.
FAU, Michigan State. It's the 30th, whatever day that is. Yeah, it's 30.
So that's Friday.
Friday at 6 o'clock.
Friday at 6 o'clock. Here we go. So this line, this is a line bet for me because both teams have new staffs. Tom Herman takes over at FAU. Jonathan Smith goes to Michigan State from Oregon State, right? Oregon State.
Yeah, it's the Tom Herman's second year, I believe.
So the total on this game is 45.5. And I realize that Michigan State could win this game 20-0,
Yeah.
27-0, whatever. And cover the under, cover the spread, because the spread's 14 points. But here's the thing. With that line at 45.5, I think that everybody expects this game to be a little sluggish, right?
Okay.
Michigan State wasn't good last year. FAU wasn't good last year, but I like what Tom Herman can do, what he's done in the
Oh, my
offseason.
God.
So I think if I can get 13 points out of the Owls, they'll cover this line easy
Okay.
because I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Right.
Big day for the Dogs last weekend on week 0.
Right.
So I'm going to ride that wave, and I'm going to take the Florida Atlantic Owls plus 14.
There's a ton of money on the under. So that fits right into what
So
you're saying.
that's why my bet is where it is.
Yeah, I got you. I like it. All right, I'm going to go to Thursday night at 7 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock local. Jacksonville State -2.5 versus Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is not the same team that they were last year.
Sadly, no.
Yeah. In returning production, Jacksonville State ranks 29th nationally. Coastal Carolina is 114th. So Jacksonville State's got a lot of players coming back. Coastal Carolina does not. One of them is Grayson McCall, who was there for like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Great quarterback. I think he went to NC State.
Big fan of McCall, this guy.
The one thing that you don't think about Rich Rodriguez's teams are defense, but they're really good on defense. They play good, solid defense, and he will move the football on the ground and keep the ball and run the clock. So 236 yards a game, 35 rushing TDs last year. So, I mean, they got it going on. So give me the Jacksonville State Gamecocks -2.5.
Isn't it weird that we have 2 Gamecocks
Yep.
in the country?
Yep.
I mean, it's not weird that we have a bunch of Bulldogs and Wildcats. And
Here's a fun stat. Jacksonville State is 7-1 against the spread in the past 8 games at home.
hey, they were great last year.
So
They were a really good team. Rich Rod done a great job there.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna stick in. We're still in Friday night, so I am on my sheet. Friday night, we got us another Power 5 matchup here, which is kind of odd though. The TCU Horned Frogs travel to take on the now member of the ACC, Stanford Cardinal.
yeah.
Neither team made a bowl last year. TCU's only 2 years removed from going to the national title game, though. And so has Sonny Dykes restocked the roster?
Don't know.
We don't know. I like the move to Josh Hoover at QB midseason last year. And he had good upside. He's just got to limit the turnovers. I think with an off season of working, knowing he's going to be QB1, that should have some improvement in that turnover area. The Cardinal have a dual threat QB, and name is Ashton Daniels, but if you look at his stats, it surely won't blow you away. It was only like 11 touchdowns last year and maybe 300 to 400 rushing yards. It was a dual threat. It wasn't threatening that much,
Right.
in my opinion. And he lost 2 of his weapons. He lost his lead running back and the number 1 tight end there. So I trust in Sonny Dykes to get TCU turned around a little bit, enough for this game anyway.
Yep.
Hope he got that defense. So I think they travel to Palo Alto and they get an easy win here against the now ACC Stanford Cardinal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lay the 10 with the TCU Horned Frogs, TCU -10.
Yeah, I stared at that game on long and hard, and then realized last year how bad they hurt me. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to let them do it to me.
They did. They hurt us last year, week 1. No,
Going back to
no
the
doubt.
well, huh?
I get it. So, you know, I'm going to go back there and see what happens.
All right, so you're going to laugh your ass off. at
I
this one.
never laugh at you in your picks.
You do laugh. All right, so my next pick's going to be Thursday. No, this is Saturday.
So you're all over the place. Who knows?
It's Saturday. Saturday, 11 o'clock kickoff. Of course, Iowa plays at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to take Iowa -22.5. Here we go.
Good Lord. You said you weren't going to take any big spreads. And you got them all up. What was happening here?
The spread. All right, so the spread comes to Iowa. You believe it? There's
The
shotgun,
spread comes to Iowa. Stop it.
Shotgun. Wait, you gonna see Saturday morning.
I love it.
They're gonna be the shotgun in Iowa. It's gonna be great.
So the one thing here, you're betting on Iowa to even score 23 points.
Well, I'm betting on them. The other team not. Okay. Look, they're gonna put it all on the field for the first game with a new offensive coordinator.
How many times have
And
they scored over 23 last year?
That's last year. With those numbnuts as the offensive coordinator, they were like 3 yards in a cloud of dust every play. Play good defense, kick field goals, win games.
I told you I wasn't going to laugh, didn't
No, it's fine. Hey,
I?
hey, they laughed at Einstein. Look, hey.
Okay. Well,
No, all right, but
fair.
all right,
That's fair.
So what I'm saying is, I don't think Illinois State's going to score on them, and I think with this newly installed offense, they're going to make a point to push the ball down the field and show the alumni and the people who put money into the
Hey,
university
we've done
that,
something
hey,
here.
we made a move.
I got you.
So don't be surprised if they go out there and score. You know, if they get to 28, they got that.
That defense is still
Yeah.
amazing.
And here's another thing: Cade McNamara is there, but they also brought in another quarterback, transfer quarterback that can play also. So if Cade McNamara can't get it done, they have somebody right there ready to go.
What about, isn't the head coach suspended for the game 1?
I don't. That's we're talking about offense.
Well, when you brought up Cade McNamara, I think they got in trouble for their recruitment of Cade McNamara just recently. I think Ferentz is suspended for this game.
I didn't think anything was illegal anymore.
I didn't think so, especially not tampering. I mean, who doesn't tamper at this
Yeah.
point?
No, I don't.
Speaking of
I'm
that,
not worried about it.
what got me so tickled? Oh boy, at Miami, Ohio, the coach at Miami, Ohio. This was great, by the way. I think, and he was just speaking truth, and I love it. I wish more coaches would just speak truth. One of the media members asked him, "Squad, he had his press conference." He said, "Coach, how'd you lose your Lou Groza Award winner kicker?" He said, Well, I didn't lose him. I know exactly where he is. He's down there kicking for Alabama."
Yeah. Yeah, he was too good.
He said, "What do you mean I lost him?" He said, "Now they came in here and stole him. That's
Yeah.
what happened. Alabama came down here and stole him." He said, "So don't talk to me about losing. I ain't lost him. I know right where he
Yeah,
is."
did too good a job.
Of course, Kalen DeBoer didn't have much to say about that. He said, "No, he got in the portal, and we just do what we do."
Yeah.
No, they obviously have been talking to him for a while. So I mean, whatever. But I just thought that was funny. No, we didn't lose him. I know right where he is. It's funny. Is it my turn now?
It is your turn.
All right. I did not want to do this, Paul,
Oh my God.
but it's a big game. People
Right.
want to know what we think about big games. We give them FCS games all the time. We give them Sun Belt games. We give them
Right.
Conference USA games. They want to know.
Canadian football game.
They want to know what we think about the big games. Well, you know, at week 1, I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. Let's do it.
Do it.
Saturday morning, 11 o'clock, the Clemson Tigers travel to Atlanta, Georgia,
Yeah.
take on the Georgia Bulldogs. So
True.
really, this is not you can call it a neutral site if you want,
No, it's
but
not.
it's in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Dabo Swinney continues to disregard the transfer portal,
Nope.
and it's going to be his downfall. His program ain't won a meaningful game since they had Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
And now they're betting on Cade Klubnik, who couldn't originally beat out DJ Ukulele, as I don't know what the hell his last name is. But
Ooh, Ungale.
yeah, yeah, they
hit
add N's and shit in there. There's no N in his name, by the way. Just pointing that out. Anyway, we saw Cade Klubnik last year. He ain't the guy.
Nope.
And we know what's on the other side of that
Ooh,
field.
it's a mad man.
We know what the dogs have got on the other side of that field.
They are
Carson
angry.
Carson Beck's the early Heisman favorite. You got Etienne transferred in from Florida to tote the rock. They got a few defensive injuries up front, but that roster
make it
is
shit.
stacked. That I may put 3 bets on this game. I'm talking about first half, second half, full game.
Locker room talk.
Dogs big. I'm laying the 13.5 with the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think they're gonna beat the hell out of them. But I think I like the over more than I like the 13.5.
You think Georgia's going to give us some points?
I think Georgia may score 48 points.
Oh, you're thinking. Okay, so like 48-17, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see.
I can't see Georgia giving up 20 to the Tigers.
I do not think if Georgia gets them down, they're gonna step off the gas.
I think they'll just bury them.
After last year, there's no way in hell they go, you know what? They've had enough. That is not going to happen. That will not happen.
No, yeah. So I'm all over the Bulldogs here. I love the Bulldogs minus 13.5. We're laying them all the points.
All right, I'm going to run through my teaser real quick. I didn't do a write-up or nothing. I'm just going to kind of go with I'll tell you what the games are.
If anybody's paying attention to the little ticker down below, I'm putting our picks in there. I will not be putting teasers down there, but we'll be going to another screen that later that shows the teaser and how to look at it if you want to see it. So the teaser down below's got all our locks in for this year, except I won't be doing the teasers. It's too much to try to. We don't have a production crew over here trying to put all stuff in. So
What'd you do with them?
I fired them all.
Fucking, of course you did.
Well, they weren't very good.
All right, so I got a 4-team teaser, it's a 6-point teaser. These 4-team teasers, and you take them up, down, left, right, 6 points, gets you plus 180, which is almost 2-to-1 on your dollar.
Yep.
Okay, so first game I got is Georgia minus 7.5. We just talked about it a little bit with Franklin's bet over there, so we're gonna die on the same hill there. Boise State at Georgia State over 51. I like both these teams to score.
Now, when you're giving these out and you're saying over 51, that's already moving it down.
That's been
Right
moved
now
up.
it's at the over under is 57.
Yeah, so it's down to 51 because I dropped it to 6
Okay.
points.
Just making sure everybody understands. You're
Yep.
giving out the
I'm getting out
the
the
6
teaser
point
number. Yeah.
teased. Okay.
Yeah, the teaser number. That's right. So Boise State at Georgia State. She's over 51. UNLV at Houston over 48.5. Willie Fritz takes over Houston. Barry Odom still at UNLV. I think it's going to take Houston a few years to get their defense where they want it, but their offense is still going to be good enough to cover this line. And then I got LSU plus 1.5 Sunday night. Because if it misses, I'm happy.
If it misses, you're happy.
And if it hits, I'm even more happy.
Even more happy. I got it.
And if USC beats them by 1,
Yeah.
you may not see me till next Tuesday. It's going to be a big party.
Big party.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. Georgia minus 7.5. Boise State, Georgia State over 51. UNLV at Houston over 48.5. LSU plus 1.5 versus USC. Once again, 6-point, 4-team teaser plus 180.
All right, Paul, you can explain to them about that. I want to take a quick break real quick.
You don't
Just
have to
let
ask.
them know how you're doing those teasers.
Okay, okay, not a problem.
Or what your thought process behind doing a teaser.
No, well, you just take games you really like. So if you like a game, but it's got like a half point in it, or one of those nefarious things that you just can't quite. You wish it was 3, but it's 6. They have 6, 6.5, and 7-point teasers. You can move the line down. Once you get to about 3, you start getting plus money, which is plus anything is when your dollar's making more than $1 on your return. So if you're at a 2-team teaser, 6-point teaser, you're gonna be like minus 120, which is probably like a normally juiced bet. But I like to do this on games that I want to bet. I got a feeling about, but it's just the line's really, really close, and I think the line's almost perfect. And then you move that number, then you even feel better about it. So yeah, I mean, and plus the late game, I wanted action on that Sunday night game, so I just threw it in that teaser to get my number back right. So, anyways,
So again, I think what you were saying, and I've been with you on these things, is in the thought process. If Vegas nails it,
yeah,
a lot of times if you tease it, you're good either way.
yeah, no matter which way you go.
That was the same with week 0, with the overs that I took in the was it the SMU game and the Hawaii game.
Yeah,
If I'd have teased it if I teased both overs or both unders, or it didn't matter because they hit on the number.
right.
And so that's what you just got to find those games where you think
And there are really
Vegas has it nailed.
in states where they allow online gambling, especially in the NFL, there are really talented cappers out there that they'll do what we call middling.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll see the game, they'll bet pre-flop or before the game starts, and they'll see it going a certain way.
Live bet it.
And they may literally have the 2 different bets on the same 2 teams on the field and still win.
Yep.
And it's really it's a deep dive into gambling for sure if you start that middling and all that stuff.
Start getting into being a
And
big
there's a
degenerate like the rest of
Well,
them.
there's a big difference between chasing money and then middling a game.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
you got to be careful if you got a team at -3 and they're down 10, and you go after them some more. That's not the direction you want to go.
No.
All right, go ahead.
Especially if you see how they're playing.
Right.
And that's what's fun about live betting
Yeah.
is
Trust your
watching
eyes,
it
yeah.
and trust what you're seeing.
Yeah, trust your eyes for sure.
And then sometimes you can middle it, but also you can get money the other way, and then you end up where you don't lose money if you're going that way. And like I guess mentioned though, one thing I want to harp on again is watch these over unders in these early weeks, and again watch the clock. I watched that a lot in week 0. They're not starting that play clock, and again, the game clock and the play clock are 2 different things. The game clock is the one that starts 15, trickles down. So you got to watch that in accordance to the play clock. Play clock's the 40 seconds they have to run the next play. Well, if the game clock isn't stopping when they go out of bounds anymore, but the play clock should start as soon as somebody touches out of bounds. So they do a great job in the NFL. But if that play clock isn't starting till like they're spotting the football, there may be 8 to 10 to 12 seconds before that play clock starts, that 40-second play clock. Now you've got an extra, and actually now the way to think about that is now the play clock was actually 52 seconds or 48 seconds. So these games are, look, these over-unders in college football can get really high, but you got to know if you got teams that run the football and you're looking at a 50-something over, I'd jump on some of those unders early in the year.
Yeah.
Just a heads up until they get that whole clock situation figured out. So it's my turn to give out the next pick, right, Paul?
And let her rip.
All right, here we go. So I think, yeah, I've gotten to Clemson, Georgia. That was Saturday. So I got a Saturday game for you. Here we go. You ready? I get the line. I get it.
Do you?
The Jackrabbits are a legit FCS program.
Yes, they are.
I understand that.
Yes.
That is I got it written right here.
Yep.
That is understandable.
Yep.
However, when it comes to OK State, there's a lot of hype with this program coming off a 10-2 campaign.
Yep.
They return their starting QB
Right.
and return all-world running back Ollie Gordon.
Yep.
So this is simple for me.
Right.
If you're an aspiring Big 12 champion winner, right,
You think Oklahoma State's got a shot?
trying to get to the playoffs
All right.
by winning the Big 12,
Yep.
I don't care who you're playing in FCS. If you're playing an FCS program and you're FBS and your sights are set on the playoff, there's no reason you should only beat an FCS program by 8 or 9 points.
Right.
So the discussion with the Cowboys for me will be all over if they don't cover this line. So this is a shout out to Mike Gundy and the boys over there. You got to get this done.
What time does that game start? You know,
Well, it's after Georgia because I got mine in
like 2:30.
time order. So yeah, I don't know. It could be later because this is my only other Saturday play.
Yeah, I got you. It's all good. I was just gonna look at something real quick.
Oh yeah, we can pull it up. Let's go find it. Here it is. I got it. I got it right here. What you want to see?
No, I was just what time is it?
1 o'clock.
Yeah, those Jackrabbits are a good football team, but I'm like you though. You got to win that game. Furman's a good football team too, and for what they are.
Yeah, they were ranked 9th in FCS last
but
year.
you gotta go win those games.
And you got to win them convincingly.
Yeah,
And I get it. A win's a win's a win. But, hey, it's an FCS program.
no,
And if you're that good, you got to beat them down. So I'm on OK State here, minus 9.5
yeah, I got you.
against the Jackrabbits.
I mean, if you're Colorado or Oklahoma State, you ought to. I mean, they ought to kick their AD's ass for scheduling those two.
Yeah,
schools.
like Ole Miss did right. They went and got Furman, not
Yeah,
South Dakota State
my
or North
God,
Dakota
that's
State.
Crazy. All right, I'm next, I guess. Where am I at? Okay, I'm at Syracuse team total over 32.5 versus Ohio. Okay, Syracuse gets a new coach in Fran Brown. They bring in what's the kid from Ohio State? What's his name? Kyle McCord.
Kyle McCord.
To run the spread. They got skill players all over the place thanks to their transfer portal. Ohio was devastated by the transfer portal.
They were beat
ravaged.
down. The Bobcats were beat down.
So, and Fran Brown's a defensive coach, but I think on the offensive side of the football, Syracuse is going to be really, really good, and they're going to give people fits. So I'm just kind of watched a little tape on Kyle McCord, kind of seeing what the deal was. I think a lot of that of him leaving there was, I don't know. They bring in Chip Kelly there. Kyle McCord can't run Chip Kelly's offense. Just can't. So I kind of get. I don't think it's so much of a knock on Kyle McCord. So I don't know. So it was 66% of his passes last year, 24 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. That's okay. That's not awful.
No, it's not awful.
That's not awful. Like I said, I don't know that. I'm just kind of going with the defense, how ravaged it is by Ohio. The offense thing, they're going to quit early, and Syracuse is got all the momentum right now. So give me Syracuse team total over 32.5.
I like it. You dove really deep into the cues, didn't you?
Man, I watch.
Yeah.
But you know what got me was
Yeah.
was that the transfer portal stuff.
The Ohio thing, yeah, they got
But
ravaged
if
is
you
a good word for
yeah,
it.
if you look at Syracuse's roster last year and this year, the talent they have, especially in the wide receiver area, and they got a tight end. I can't remember his name right now. That guy is gonna be great.
Alright.
So, anyways, enough of that.
So what's Garrett Schrader doing these days?
Probably selling just for men for your beard commercial stuff. And he the one that took off running that time and did the helicopter and
Yeah,
all
but that's
that.
when he was at state.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Jokes, you got jokes. Oh shoot! All right. I get that. That's your last pick. Yep.
I got one more.
What? Oh yeah, I started. That's right. This is my last pick.
So every we've been doing this will be our third year,
Mhm.
and it starts out the show. Franklin says, "Paul, you picked first last time. It's my turn."
Yeah.
Every time at the beginning of every show, that's how it goes. So that's why I don't say anything.
Well, I picked first. I did first this time. I usually have you go first, but I went first this time. That's
Okay.
what got me confused.
So all right, earmark that.
So I let you go.
Next
I
week-
went first this time.
I don't
Yeah,
care who goes first, but I'm saying he's going to say it again next week.
I will.
All right.
Anyway.
Funny.
All right. This line continues to move up, but I put my neck out there a while back talking to Paul. May have mentioned it during our SEC preview. I'm not sure, but I'm going to stick to my gut here. Both teams are replacing big time QBs in Williams and Daniels, but I trust Lincoln Riley to dial up the offense with Miller Moss. Nussmeier's been biding his time down in Baton Rouge, and there's a lot of hype for this young man. I don't know if I believe it all. A lot of lost talent on that offense for the LSU Tigers. But both defenses have struggled, and that's putting it lightly. LSU has some returning talent, but again, as we mentioned before, how good is that talent? We know Harold Perkins. We don't know much else. The backside of that defense was pretty bad last year. Now they bring in the Missouri DC. Missouri was really good
hire.
last year, but
Good
they
hire.
had a ton of NFL talent on that side of the ball from Missouri.
Yep.
So he bolts Missouri, goes to LSU, and they didn't bring in any talent in the transfer portal. So I don't trust that just a new DC comes in and takes LSU back to the LSU glory days when their defense was so great. I trust I trust even less
Troubleware.
in the USC defense. I don't think Lincoln Riley's done a lot to get that side of the ball fixed. So I trust in Riley to get at points against LSU, and I trust that LSU will have no problem putting up points against USC. So I'm taking the over. Give me the LSU USC over.
I like it.
And you know what it's moved up to now, which I
60.
don't like.
I'm seeing 64.5.
Yeah, it's over 64.5. But I see both teams getting over 33 in this game, so
I like
that's where I'm at.
I like it. So I got one more game, and I didn't do any notes on it, but I'm just give the pick and then talk about why.
Okay.
So it's Northwestern minus 2.5. They're at home. They get Miami of Ohio. Northwestern on its surface isn't a very talented team, but they're playing. They're not playing this game at Ryan Field because they're doing construction there. They have turned their practice field, which is set right on the river, into like a 15,000 seat stadium. That's gonna be awkward as hell to go in and play. I don't know if you've seen it. I wish I could bring the picture of it up. And I don't know. Miami of Ohio, they're serviceable in the MAC, but I don't know. Anything under a field goal here for Northwestern, I like them. I think they're gonna be. I think they'll be fine. I think it's pretty much easy money.
Yeah.
I think the atmosphere of this whole thing is gonna be weird as shit.
Everything's going to be weird.
It's. I mean, go look at it and you'll see what I'm talking about. Hell, the over under is 39.
Oh my God.
So I mean, they know it's gonna be awkward as shit.
Yeah, it
So
is.
it's gonna be like 17-3, maybe 24-10, something like that. So give me Northwestern minus 2.5.
So we got a comment in the live stream there, Paul. It
Oh,
looks like a State fan.
what do you say?
I don't. Well, he said, "Got my pistol in the truck," and then he said, "Sup, fellas? How about them Rebels?" But here's the thing.
Don't know.
Look at this username. That is a Nick Fitzgerald type of username if I've ever seen one. I think we've got an Autobot, a troll, or something in there
fun.
because it knows we're Rebel fans.
Nice.
And that, so I'm not so sure what's going on there, if he's actually watching and listening. So, I mean, look at it. It says Knits for, yeah. It looks more like it's supposed to be Nick Fitzgerald, which was a former quarterback for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. So I'm not sure I'm going to comment on that one, Paul, unless you want to send out a comment to Mr. Knits Feraldez.
Well, thank the robots.
Is he a friend of yours?
Thank the robots for watching.
We got comments there. At least there's something in there.
So what?
Talk about that.
So that's my play, and like I said, we can go deeper into. I mean, there's really not much else to go to. I think Iowa's offense, they can't be worse. They can't be.
Well, you mentioned that. So you want to just give a quick
Yeah. Rundown.
overview? So let's take a look here. Let me pull up everything we got. Let's go to the new board here. That's not showing. That's awesome.
Where'd it go?
Oh no!
Week one trouble.
Oh my God!
What?
It's look, we're shut down.
Great. The dude just hacked us.
Oh, we're back. There we go. I don't know what happened there, Paul.
All right.
I tried to transition over to our pick side.
Oh, dude,
there.
that's
You said-
fucking Thomas.
from the what?
That's Thomas. What's going on, Thomas? You had Franklin all screwed up over here.
You gotta do better
Yeah,
with that
what's going on?
name.
Our favorite craps dealer.
All right, glad to have you. All right, so again, and you froze up our computer, so I hope everybody didn't
Shows how much traffic we
dial
have.
out in that. So I think I got us live over here, Paul. Now, so PSB, the numbers up there you see 72, 68, and 3. That was our total last year between the two of us. I got our name. Look, we got on the wrong cameras apparently.
Okay.
Look at the names on our. I got my yearly stats under your camera, and your yearly stats under my. We got to do better. We need new people. This is just crazy.
I thought the team was over here working all day on this stuff.
They were. You know what? I'm gonna fix it. We had a whole team at your house today.
The whole team of
Well,
folks.
our cameras used to be different last year, and we connected to the wrong cameras early. That's what happened. Now I got it fixed. How about that?
Yeah, we
Right
did.
there, real time, getting it fixed. Is that better?
No, give that guy a raise.
I still don't understand what he's saying with his name. What is he saying? What is Nitz Ferralt?
Well, you'll see.
is it-
You'll see him soon. It's fine. We can ask him. Give him.
I'm gonna need some, yeah. You gotta explain that to me in real time. I'm not getting it.
Well, it's okay.
a-
Give your picks.
Well, you see him right there on the board. I pulled it up. So, and of course, under Paul's name where it says C teaser, you see the 6-point teaser below. That shows what happens after you tease those 4 teams. That's the number you'll get. So if you go in to try to tease at 6 points and think you're going to get Georgia minus 1.5. That's not how that is. These numbers we gave you in the teaser is that's with the 6 points taken off. So I'll just run down mine again. I got the Minnesota Golden Gophers +2, FAU +14, TCU -10, Georgia Bulldogs -13.5, Oklahoma State Cowboys -9.5, LSU USC over 64.5. Paul, you want to run down your
Sure.
picks for the
They're gonna pull them up.
folks out there?
Miss Lauren has entered the building. Oh yeah, Jacksonville State -2. Minnesota team total over 26.5. Iowa minus 22.5. 4-team teaser. Georgia minus 7.5. Boise State, Georgia State over 51. UNLV Houston over 48.5. LSU plus 1.5. Syracuse team total over 32.5. And then the Northwestern Wildcats minus 3.
Okay, so I may have put this in wrong because I chicken scratch or something. Is it Boise State versus Georgia State or Georgia Southern?
Georgia State, I thought. Let me look.
You said Georgia State. I put in Georgia Southern. I want to make sure we get that right.
Okay.
Just so people understand, like they try to look for a game that's not
I could have messed it
not
up.
actually there.
I could have messed it up. Faux show. Let me look. I'm trying to find it.
You're good. We got nothing but time, baby. Where we going?
Me, you, and Thomas.
Me, you, and Thomas just sitting here. He said I was drinking. I used to work. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Georgia State plays Georgia Tech, so that's right. I got the wrong team put down there.
So it's Georgia Southern.
Got to be.
So I got the right one.
I'm sure.
Well, that's probably what you sent me. But you said Georgia State on the microphone, so I was just making sure I didn't have it wrong.
I got it right there. I messed it up. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. So our picks are right on the screen right there, and I'll have to move all that stuff next time because I noticed that the cameras are wrong. When I went to look at you, I was looking the other way.
Right.
We had the cameras flipped, but tonight you connected first. I connected, so I'll have to change everything next week. It is a complete debacle.
So we're looking to anybody that enjoys free labor, that would enjoy.
We pay in cans.
Yeah,
we pay in cans.
We pay in camaraderie and fellowship. So,
And laughter.
Yeah.
We're good for that every now and then.
Funny to laugh at for sure.
All right, so that's all our picks for Wick. Oh my God! See what happens when Thomas gets in there with his drinking and
Well, this is what the North Carolina offense is going to look like Saturday. It's going to be a stumbling mess.
bumbling mess. Well, look, hey, Sam Howell's gone. Drake May's gone. What are they going to do now? That's why I think both of us are on the right side. You got Minnesota scoring 27. I got them +2.
Yeah, all right. I like it.
Which means that it'll be a 30-0 game in favor of the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Probably so.
Most likely.
Yep.
Tune in tomorrow night
Yeah, well,
and watch it all. We'll all watch together.
we'll high five that later.
There is a chance. I don't know. We'll see.
What chance?
Well, I reached out to somebody about some technological stuff for us, Paul.
That was the right move.
And
Let's outsource this shit.
I don't think I'm going to have it in time for Saturday.
Okie.
I was hoping maybe we could do like a halftime show after Georgia Clemson.
Okay.
Because I did test the equipment. It works. It's all good.
You talking about it at the site of the fantasy football draft?
Yeah, before
Oh,
the
Jesus.
draft. But we probably would have to come up with some microphones and headphones. I mean, we already have but it's a lot of movement, a lot of shit to move around. But working on those headsets for us. So we'll probably look forward this year. We're probably going to do some halftime stuff, or either after 11 o'clock halftime games, or 2:30 halftime games, or halftime of an Ole Miss game or something. We may throw on the headsets and
We'll get kicked out of this thing.
throw it around a little bit. So look forward to that this year. We hope to be doing some of that. And so you got the locks. You got them there. They're scrolling on the screen below, and you saw them. I'll show you one more time. Let's transition over. There's the picks. There they are. And we hope you have fun this weekend. And remember, the one thing we all got to do this weekend, Paul.
Go cash them tickets.
That's right. So, you know what? That's going to do it for us tonight. We hope to see you next time, and we'll see you next week. Cash